Baby, the dick can't be that good. Can't be that good. Taking her through there. He took her through there and back and through there again. Joyce, blink twice if you need help. Okay? Disclaimer, if you have not seen this show, there will be spoilers. So if you don't want it to be spoiled for you, I suggest you leave. Leave now. Because we finna really get into this crazy ass series. Got me clutching pearls I don't even own. Okay, so I just started watching The Polygamist on Netflix. Baby, when I tell you I was not prepared. So already one episode is crazy. So it starts out pretty much like, introducing the characters. But honestly, I like the way they break it down because they break it down person by person so you're not lost. So it starts off with talking about Joyce. Joyce is the first wife, which is a gag in itself. It starts off with her at her husband's funeral. And basically, she looks distraught. She looks sad. It looks that way until she gets to the casket. And then she's like cursing him out. So Joyce has like this picture perfect life. She has the billionaire husband. She is an influencer. She has all the great brand deals, all the designers. However, it switches over to her husband actively having sex with a mistress. So Joyce goes over to this house because he's been gone. She knew he was there though, to contact her husband, and the mistress opens the door. The mistress is like, "What are you doing here? I told you to stop showing up to my house unexpected." And the wife is really popping her like, "Girl, this house belongs to me. Don't forget that you are number 2, basically." And she was like, "I need to speak to Jonas." So she's doing all this hooting and hollering, screaming or whatever. And Jonas comes out and he's like, "What do you need? Why are you here? This is getting ridiculous." She was like, "Our 20th anniversary is coming up. I've been planning for this event for a long time. You need to be there." And he's like, "You want me to go and lie?" And she just like, "I just need you to show up, this, that, and the third." So she gives him the invite. And this woman is really, really fighting for her marriage, by the way. Like, she was there before he even became something. So you get that glimpse in the beginning. So episode 2 basically goes into telling Matipa's story, how she met Jonas and how they got their fling started. So Matipa has started this job at J&J thanks to her, I'm gonna say her man, which is crazy to even say this because her man is Jonas's brother. And you can tell right off the bat that she really doesn't like him. She's really got her eye on Jonas because she really wants his promotion into compliance. That's her whole angle. Like, she's trying to get into that field. And he's like, "Don't worry, you got the position because I'm on the board. No worries, blase blase." This is a really youthful, gorgeous woman. Joyce is beautiful too, but you can see a clear difference between the two women. Matipa gets up and goes over to Jonas's personal assistant and was like, "I have something to give to Mr. Gamora. I would like to place this in his hand so I could, formally meet him because, I'm trying to get this position or whatever." And the personal assistant is not having it. She's like, "Girl, please. My job as his personal assistant is to keep people like you away from him. He is a busy man." Matipa's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right." But then she makes a break and she manages to get into his office. So Mr. Gamora walks in and he's like, "Who are you? How are you?" Basically stuff like that, but giving off very like, "You're wasting my time. Nobody told you to be in here. You're not supposed to be in here." Matipa introduces herself and she's immediately stricken by how handsome he is. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I want this man," basically. So, she starts flirting. She starts doing her little 1-2, and she was like, "I just want to come and drop this off to you." And in the midst of her dropping it off, she literally drops it off. She drops the paper on the floor in front of him and she bends over to show her voluptuous booty cheeks. And Mr. Gamora's like, "Ooh, Now, by this time, there is something going on with like shareholders. I guess they're hosting like a party of some sort. So obviously the brother and Matipa is going to be there. And as this party is beginning, Jonas's brother basically runs up to him and was like, "Oh, brother, you gotta go. Joyce is in the hospital giving birth to their 3rd child. You gotta go." So you can see Matipa getting visibly upset when she was going to go approach Jonas, but he was already leaving out as she was coming in. So she's looking like, "Oh, I'm about to miss my chance." And the scene changes over to Jonas being in the hospital with Joyce. He looks so smitten. He's so in love. He's loving on their baby. Like, this man is in love. And so then when Joyce goes to sleep or whatever, he's like at the foot of the bed and then he pulls out like this handkerchief or like this paper towel. And then it says, "Come put me on my misery, this and the third." So lo and behold, before Jonas got on the elevator to leave to go to his wife, Matipa had caught up to him with like, "Oh, you dropped this." And then she just left. As he's there at the hospital with his woman, his wife, he goes, oh, I feel like I didn't network enough with the shareholders. I left the party too soon. And Joyce's mind, she's like, oh, I get it. Like, you know, if you have to go, we'll be fine. I'm okay here. Like, she's literally cheering her man on because she's not pressed about no female, because she's like, what? This is me. Like, you know, we did this together. We built this together. That was the whole conversation too in the hospital, mind you. So then he's like, okay, cool. Like, he doesn't even hesitate. Like, he's just like, are you sure? But he wasn't really like, are you sure? I don't have to go. Like, he was just like, I want her to say she's sure one more time, then I'm just gonna get up and go. So he goes back. Mind you, the party is ending, or the party had ended. And his brother was leaving out, and he pretended to ask for a specific person, knowing that he just walked past the person on the escalator. So then he's like, oh, okay, it's fine. Well, I got some stuff that I want to finish up in my office. If I'm not mistaken, I think he either saw Matipa on the escalator coming up, or he just went straight to his office. I can't remember exactly, but all I know is they ended up in the office together, and she got her legs out showing all the goods or whatever. And so he's pretty much just like, I know what you really want, and if you really want that, you're gonna have to give me what I want. And that was the part that Matipa's playing the whole time. So she's just like, all right, cool, whatever, you know. So they get freaky in the office, and you would think, oh, that was the first time he cheated. Girl, no. So obviously Joyce finds out about Matipa. They crash out in some salon. They're going at it, and then her husband finds out, and he was like, this isn't attractive of you. You're losing your mind. What is wrong with you? And so he leaves her because she gives him an ultimatum, and clearly that's one thing Jonas doesn't like, is being told what to do. So he leaves to go be with said mistress. Then everything always goes back to like certain episodes, so that way you're tracking. So it goes back to episode 1, why Joyce was there at the house where the mistress and where she pulled up basically. So she comes out and she says, yeah, you know, our 20th wedding anniversary is coming up, the vow renewal one that we had planned. I need you there basically so she can keep up with her image. And he just like, are you nuts? I'm not doing that. And she was just like, just be there. Like, we're not doing this. Basically because Joyce has this thing of like keeping up with her image as a creator. And she even said you can bring your whore basically with you if that's what's going to make you feel better. Fast forward to the anniversary thing, right? You know, she has anxiety. She's worried that, you know, Jonas isn't going to show up because, mind you, Jonas also served her divorce papers, which really made her world crumble. As they're there at the function, guess who shows up? And it's not Jonas. Matipa shows up. Matipa's there to basically embarrass Joyce and say, like, he was never going to show up to this stupid ass thing. Like, girl, let this man go, which is wild coming from the mistress because, girl, I actually like this part. Jokes on the damn mistress, because Jonas does show up. Not only does he show up, he's there to participate. So he's there in his suit and tie. He's there for his wife. Like, he's putting on a show just as much as Joyce was. Like, he's like kissing her, dipping her, stuff like that. So now Matipa's like, what in the entire baby? When I say her mouth was on the floor, girl, Matipa was lost in the sauce, but I was living for it. I was like, girl, yeah, get served. Mind you, though, he was still wanting the divorce. It's crazy, though, because at this 20th anniversary thing, you know, people are speaking. He's looking at this woman, his wife, and all of a sudden, he starts falling back in love again. Mind you, this man has been gone for almost a year. I think they were like 6 months to a year he's been gone. He was on Matipa's heels, like a baby on a nipple. Like, you couldn't get him away from her. But after this, like, vow renewal, he takes Joyce to their marital home, and then they have sex. And then he stays over, and then he doesn't leave. So now Matipa's like, where is my man? I knew you were going to trap him. You just couldn't stand the fact that he wanted to be with me. So Joyce is like, wait a minute. You're confused that a married man came home. Mind you, the kids and all this. So you got his oldest 2 kids, Mezi and Mapume. I think forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Mapume, the daughter, walks in, and she's just like, you know, going to go talk to her mom. Mind you, her daughter and all this is like, you don't deserve to be treated like this. But the mom's like, whatever, I get up on my marriage. And the daughter even was like, you want me to deal with something like this? Are you nuts? I would never do this. Mom, know your worth. But she walks in on the mom and dad in there, and she freaks out and leaves out. Joyce wakes up like confused, like, what are we doing? This is so confusing. We're not supposed to be here doing this. And Jonas is just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're my wife. I've missed you. This is the right thing. Basically, but don't bring it back up again that I did this stuff. So now this man is no longer trying to leave his wife. In order to make Joyce feel comfortable, she was like, you need to fire Matipa, because if she's still working with you, you know, obviously I'm not stupid. She was like, you're going to go back running to her at any point. She said, I just can't mentally take that load anymore. She said, because I made myself look like a fool, blase, blase. So he was like, all right, cool. So honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like happy too. So when the wife was in the office, they called Matipa in, and Matipa's thinking like, oh, this man finally came back to his senses, because mind you, he hasn't been at the house with Matipa now. She's like, oh, finally he came back to his senses. Like, I got my man back. This is finna be like a booty call in the office type of thing. Girl, hold on my calls. So she walks in, and Joyce is in there sitting at the CEO seat, and Jonas is standing up, and he's like, you need to sit down. She's like, I'm not sitting down. I'd rather you tell me whatever the heck this is going on. So Joyce was like, girl, thank you for your contributions and the extra miles you went to contribute, but your service is no longer needed, effective immediately. So they fire her. But she was like, oh, I'm going to go to HR about this, because on what grounds are you doing this? Matipa really thought she was going to get like some type of settlement or some payout to like hush money, basically, because also she was like, I'll air everything out. And he was already irritated with that, because he was like, as Gamoras, we go through our stuff, but one thing we don't do is air out our dirty laundry. And he said, and you messing with my image and you messing with that. There was that. So then she was like, that's fine, I'm gonna go find another top dog. Basically the minister she tried to go after, but Jonas shut that down immediately. He was like, you just trying to make me mad. So basically he didn't want the mistress to go find her own thing, but girl, you toxic man stuff. He sees them out together with the minister. Mind you, the minister is a married man, and his wife was literally at their the minister and his wife was literally at the 20th anniversary thing, because Joyce basically said, if you don't show up, I'm gonna threaten this, something he had going. It was work, but basically they were gonna pull out, and he's like their biggest contributor. So that's how she got him there too. Honestly, I really think he just wanted to be there. The minister's wife is really pinching Matipa like, you're a Jezebel, stay away from married men. And Matipa's like, girl, what's your problem? So then Matipa goes after her man. Jonas shuts that down immediately. Baby, it's over and done with, okay? So just when you're thinking like everything is going well, Jonas is trying to get his wife pregnant again. Like, you think everything is in the clear, right? Jonas is supposed to go to Washington, D.C. The wife is like, I will never get pregnant by this man again, because the last time I gave birth is when all of this shit happened. So then she's in the hospital. I think it was the mother. She was like, he's here in the hospital too. So then she's like, oh shit, I gotta hurry up and clean myself up, because she was gonna go get a hysterectomy. She was like, we're not doing this. Or either go get her tubes tied, I think. But either way, she was like, I'm not doing this again. So she was like, wait a minute, he's here. Why is he here? I can't let him know that I'm doing this. So then the doctor was like, you Gamoras are keeping me busy today. I got another Gamora down the hall giving birth. And she's like,
last time I checked, I'm the only Gamora in this so who else the fuck you be talking about?
Excuse me? So she jumps up with her clothes on, and she's running down the hall. She walks into this door, and she sees Matipa in the hospital bed with the baby. Then she sees her husband standing there with another baby. Matipa done gave birth to twins, y'all. To twins. Joyce faints, and he puts his baby down, and he runs to his wife. Matipa's not having it. Matipa is like, what the F? So basically Matipa ends up going home with the twins by herself. Mind you, she just had a C-section. But he's like, my wife, she fainted. She wasn't supposed to find out like this. Whole time he lied about the Washington trip. That was never a thing. He was going to go be with Matipa and his babies for a little while. When I tell you livid, Joyce was livid. She was like, how dare you? So now Jonas is pleading. He's like, please don't leave me. I love you. I didn't mean to do this. Like, he's just like, So then he was like, I have to go see my kids though. So Joyce is clinging onto his leg as he's leaving out. She's like, please don't go. Like, he's trying to jerk away from me. He literally had to basically what Matipa did to get into his office. So he gets into his car, he leaves, and the mother just standing outside like, he gets to Matipa's house. Matipa's mother is there holding one of the babies, or like she's asleep on the couch. So then she's just like, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm glad you're here because the kids need you, but why are you here? And he's coming over to have sex. She's just like, I'm not supposed to have sex for another 6 weeks. And he was just like, yeah, but I can't wait that long. He was like, I know that mouth worked though. So mind you, this woman is still in pain from her scars, and he's pushing her down. So this man don't care about nobody. Like, the audacity of it all. And then when he comes home, he's thinking that like his kids should still respect him. His daughter Mapume is like, you haven't been here for almost 6 months, and all of a sudden you just show back up as if this whole thing hasn't affected us. Are you kidding me? The son is like, stop complaining, that's our dad, be respectful. The dad's basically undermining the son though, like, you need to be a man, you need to grow some balls. Like, it's this whole thing. And the wife at the same time though, she's like, whoa. Like, she's trying to have her kids back, but she's also not trying to lose her man again, which is sad, because it is like, unfortunate how when some women just want love, they don't see their kids as collateral throughout this whole thing. They don't see how this is affecting their kids. And that's what was actually happening to like Mapume and Mezi. Mind you, like I said, she had her other kid, Nazaki, something like that. But he don't really make too many appearances. As the episodes progress, Joyce is still putting on a front that her marriage is happy. Obviously, Matipa's like, I'm finna blow up her spot, basically. And mind you, Joyce has this whole brand deal thing going on with like Ivory Oasis or whatever. It's like some skincare brand. But she's the face of this brand. So Matipa decides to blow up her spot and was like, oh, he has twins, by the way. So now people are questioning Joyce. And then she was like, you said that your marriage was happy. You lied to us all. What is really going on? But it blew back on Matipa because Joyce is good with her words. She's trained in PR to the T. And she was basically just answering like, oh, no, we welcome this new addition. This and that. She basically tried to cover up and basically say, I'm getting older. It's not healthy for me to have kids anymore. I do feel like to expand on our legacy. Matipa's very youthful. Baby making machine basically is how she did it. Jonas goes off on her though. He was like, why would you do that? We don't do our stuff like this. So basically she's just going off. She's like, I just want you, but you're making it seem like this whole thing is my fault. Girl. Joyce, you can literally see her cracking and unfolding this whole time. So then she comes up with this crazy concept of like, you know what, since you won't leave her alone, and this girl clearly loves you, because Joyce goes over there and she's like, why won't you leave this man alone? And she's basically like, I love this man, you just need to let go of the fact that I love him because I'm not going to let him go. So she was like, so basically, okay, so she don't want to let him go. Sister wives it is. So then Jonas goes over there and proposes to Matipa because Joyce said it was okay to. Told him to. She's thinking she's finna be the one and only wife. He's like, no, we're finna do Lobola, something like that. I can't remember. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Eventually, she just go ahead and she accepts it. Within that exception, you know, you got the twins christening and stuff like that. They have the christening at the house. I'm skipping over some stuff because I'm trying to get to like the gobbledygook of it all because I'm actually almost about done with my makeup and I really want to talk about this. So they're talking about hosting a christening for the twins, and you know everybody is invited or whatever, but Jonas doesn't tell Joyce that they're gonna have the event there at their home because the venue was double booked. Joyce ends up going off at Matipa thinking Matipa was overstepping again, and she was like, I really thought Jonas told you type shit. So now this gets to another scene. So the crazy thing that I find out about all of this is the fact that Matipa's not even really his second wife. Technically Essie is, which is crazy because he told Essie that she was going to be the first wife. And now if you're wondering who the heck Essie is supposed to be like his brother's wife. The only reason why I said supposed to be is because technically growing up in their town, Jonas used to get bullied. I guess one day Essie popped up and basically was like, you know, leave this man alone. Are you bothering him? He kind of fell in love with this girl. So Essie supports him through his college endeavors. I mean, gives him her last so he can go to school and become something. And he's promising this woman cars, her dream home, all of this stuff. And then goes to her, of course, because, you know, he's in school by himself. There's other women there. Yeah, y'all. He ditches Essie, shows back up. Essie done gave birth to another boy that was by some gang member. But basically, he gives her the house and he gives her the car. But Essie finds out over the course of like the semester, like as he's finishing up the semester, that he gets married to Joyce. So her heart's broken because he promised her the world. This was long before Joyce even became a thing. Joyce was nowhere to be found. So really it was supposed to be Essie first. Mind you, like I said, Essie is supposed to be his brother's wife, but that was a whole game in itself. Essie was never his brother's wife. So he went to take Essie shopping because Essie became pregnant. And while out at the baby store, he runs into his wife, Joyce. So he's been playing Joyce from the left since the beginning. And he introduces Essie as his sister-in-law. And Essie visibly looks like, what the fuck? So she's irritated and she's ready to go. He's like, I'll find a time to tell Joyce the truth, but it's just not right now. So she's like, whatever, I'm not going to keep doing this with you. Y'all, Sarah is the name of their daughter. Sarah is watching Jonas give Mapume, Mezi, even the twins from Matipa a way better life. I'm talking about like the cars, the clothes, the iPhones, while her mother and her are basically struggling. Well, apparently Essie's son and Sarah already knew that was like that. They knew who the real father was. Jonas knew. Only person that didn't know was Joyce and their kids. So at this christening that's going on, Mapume's boyfriend is there. Mapume's also a virgin, and she's like, I'm waiting on a perfect day to give it up to my man, this, that, and the third. So while they're there at this christening, the photographer says, let's get, you know, all the wives and the kids together in a photo. So you have the twins because it's their christening with Matipa. You have Joyce, you have Jonas, you have Mezi, the oldest son, you have Mapume, and you have their younger son, something like that. Nazi Kulo, something like that. They're in this photo. Sarah looks up and she's like, oh, let me get up. Jonas literally looks at her and is like, no, don't get up. This is not the place because nobody else knows. So she gets upset. So she tells the boyfriend of Mapume, come here, I want to do something. Mind you, this girl's been talking about her coming of age party or ceremony to become a woman. And the only person that can give her away or do these things is her real father. Mind you, Jonathan told her he's not doing that for her. So this is when she lashes out and does all this stuff. So she tells the boyfriend to come on upstairs. So when Mapume goes upstairs to go look for something, I don't know what it was. Basically, she sees her man upstairs, Sarah giving her dude head, and she just cleaning her mouth like, girl, whatever, I was gonna do this anyway type thing. Really, you can see like the jealousy between the two, or really from Sarah to Mapume, because Mapume doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know this is her sister. Essie leaves the party and she's like basically cursing her daughter out, like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? What's going on with you? Sarah accidentally pushes her mother down the stairs, so they end up in the hospital, and Sarah's the one that told Joyce the truth. Sarah tells her, yeah, that's my daddy. So now everybody knows that, like, you know, Sarah is his daughter. Essie is technically the second wife, which makes Matipa the third. So then they're like, Matipa's like, so is there any more wives? Joyce is like, girl, I don't know. Mind you, at this point too, Matipa's already having issues with Jonas again, because she's saying, I haven't seen Jonas. Where is he? The twins have their vaccines. Joyce is like, girl, I don't know where that man is. And when you find him, I got a bone to pick with him too. So now they're both like, wait a minute, you haven't seen him, I haven't seen him. So where the fuck is he? Okay, so we get to episode 11. Episode 11 is basically, it's Jonas's birthday. And he was like, you know, I love this day. My wife always does it big for me. So as he's at work, Matipa calls, she has a lingerie, she's singing happy birthday to him. And she was like, this is my first birthday with you as your wife. You know, I really want to make it special for you. And he was like, oh, we're going to have to do a rain check because my first wife always does these big shebangs for me. Matipa's like, whatever. I'm not doing this with you. So she hangs up. She was like, don't even bother. So then he goes to his first wife and he was like, I know you got something planned for me. So what are we doing? And she was like, boy, fuck you. I'm not doing shit for you. I don't want to, and I'm not going to. So then he gets upset. So then he goes to Essie. I done got to the part where they done introduced a fourth. Not a fourth wife, not a fourth baby mama or nothing. Well, yet. So there's this girl called Lindani. This is Mapume's, I'm assuming, her best friend. Mezzi is like in love with this girl, and he's been trying to get down on her since the beginning. But apparently the day that Joyce and Jonas took a holiday, then Donnie suggested that Mapume throw a party there because the house was like free of adults. And Mapume was like, no, we're not doing that. So then she looks at Mezzi and was like, you're the man of the house, you make the decision. So he says yes, trying to impress Lindani. So while they're partying and whatnot, Lindani's on top of the counter, like dirty whining and all that stuff. Like she's really getting it in or whatever. She dancing. Mind you, her boyfriend's there too. And Mezzi's just taking L after L trying to get this girl. Joyce and Jonas decide to come home early. So they come home to this party happening. You don't see it right away until this show immerses you in it. Of course, the parents look mad. They're kicking everybody out. They're like, what the F? What's wrong with you? For whatever weird reason, they tell Sarah, they tell Freedom, they tell Mezzi, they tell Mapume to go, but they tell Lindani to stay here and clean up. It didn't make sense to me until it started making sense to me. So within this episode now, it shows Jonas was looking at Lindani dancing on the counter and whining stuff, and he's like getting hard. He's like, oh yeah, like I want that. So one day at a sleepover, Lindani goes downstairs and she's like, I can't sleep. So she's trying to sneak some alcohol. Jonas sees the light flick on over in that area, so that he pops up on her. She gets nervous or whatever. He invites her back to his study in the house. Mind you, this is all in the house where the wife is, where the brother is, where the sister is. He starts hitting on his own daughter's friend. I mean, fine dining this girl. Even took her to some place. I don't know, they went on some holiday together. But mind you, the friend is sitting there texting the dad the whole entire time while they're in the house. Different days and all. Mind you, the dad even knows that the son wants her. So as they're talking, Lindani's like, he wants to take me on a trip. He's 45. Yes, he's older, but who cares? Mapume's like, girl, get you a younger man. What is wrong with you? What does a 45-year-old want with a teenager? Like, girl, please. Or young adult, whatever, because their oldest daughter's about to go to like varsity or I guess university. I guess that's what it is. So she's like, girl, whatever. This is my life. You're not going to run it. Whole time, she knows that this is this girl's dad. So he fine dines her. I'm talking about rents out a whole restaurant. They got 3-course meals going on. He's like trying to swab his way into her legs or whatever. So he was like, we're going to go on this vacation together. So he's taking her out there where they got 7-course meals. He know about this girl lingerie. They end up having sex. The father and the friend end up having sex. And I'm talking about like bondage and stuff like that. Like I'm talking, she had a ball in her mouth. They were getting it in. Lindani also has her boyfriend X. X is blowing up her phone like, where are you? What are you doing? But he already put 2 and 2 together. Lindani comes home. She's talking to the friend. She's talking to Mapume basically about losing her virginity to her man, wearing lingerie. This is the same lingerie, realistically, though, that her dad gave Lindani. So she gave lingerie that her dad gave to her to his own daughter. So she's like, girl, I'm not wearing that. I want to be special. You know, I'm not doing all that. Whatever. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but literally that's how the show goes. It goes in circles, so it brings you right back to point A, so that way it makes sense to you. And then Donnie pops up pregnant. And now she's trying to put this baby on X, knowing damn well that it's not his. But she's like, whatever to make him stay. But he's like, I know whose baby this is. You ain't got to lie to me. You've been spending a lot of time over my Pume's house. I'm not doing this with you. So he gets up and he leaves. So she's crying in the car. Jonas is like, don't worry. I'm going to have a nanny for you. You can still go to school. You'll be taken care of. Don't worry about it. So he's making this girl feel real comfortable. So she don't got to stop opening her legs to him. So this is when we get to Mezzy. Mezzy has been trying to get down on Donnie for a while. I'm talking about the compliments, the texting. She's like, oh, I've seen them. Whatever. She's just clearly not interested. Freedom, which is Sarah's brother from some gang member. He's not the child of anybody that's important. He takes Mezzy to a strip club. And he was like, forget about Lindani. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And he's like, no, Lindani's going to be my wife. Which is crazy because now I think she even knew, like, dude, I'm with your dad. I'm not going to do this. Like, you can't give me the life that your dad has been giving me. So they're at their strip club and he was just like, yeah, F with this. I don't care about all this booty shaking around me. I want to talk to Lindani. So he gets up and he's trying to call her. So he walks in the back to get some quiet time. He hits the corner. Guess who he sees? Girl, he sees Lindani in the back of the club. Wanna get drunk in the back of the club. Giving his dad head. Mezzy just about had a heart attack. But they didn't know that they had been seen. Girl. And the plot thickens. Like, I left off there because my husband came upstairs and we had to watch House of the Dragon. Girl, when I tell you this show has had me sat. Mind you, I just started watching it yesterday and there's 22 episodes. And we talk a little bit how I feel like there's so many things to cover here. And easily people can blame Joyce. But realistically, this woman didn't ask to be put in this situation at all. Matipa knew that he was married because she asked about this man's kids and his wife. And he was the one that told her, I don't want to talk about them. Are you here to basically fuck or what? Like, if we had to order everything realistically, obviously it's Jonas's fault first. He's been playing Joyce since the beginning. Okay. And then the wife feels like his brother also played a hand in making her look foolish because he also knew about Jonas's lies and didn't say anything. Then we get over to Matipa. Obviously she's a mistress. She knew about the wife. She knows about the kids. She did all that. So yes, obviously she's at fault too, but you know, still the husband's fault or whatever, because at the end of the day, the mistress was going to do what she wanted to do. Then we get to Essie. Essie being the second wife technically, she was really hating on Joyce a lot. But when you figure out why, I don't think it was direct hate about Joyce. It was just the fact that she got the life that Jonas had promised her first. So there was kind of just, it was just that. It was already that. Now Lindani is young. She's impressionable. She's not born of, like, you know, from a rich family or whatever. So she's just trying to get in where she fit in. However, it doesn't make it any less right. It is completely wrong. You're sleeping with your friend's dad and knowing what he has going on, because mind you, Mapume is telling her own friend what's going on. So the friend is just like adding to the fire. She's like, oh, well, I'm found my way in this too. Oh, did I mention Joyce tries to kill him? Do you know what this idiot says? This man says she tried to kill herself because of what I'm doing. Baby. Baby. Don't piss me off. Don't. And basically that was Joyce's whole thing. She was like, baby, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. I would never kill myself. Nobody likes you. She said, I'm really trying to do you in. Because you really, you done did it to me 20 times, So we're all at this point like, Joyce, stand up. And my girl is standing up somewhat. Like, she's trying to navigate through it. Like, this is her marriage. Like, this is all happening very, very fast. And apparently this has been happening for years. Stuff under her nose that she don't even know about. I don't see how anybody, the only thing that I could blame Joyce of is staying in something that clearly is disrespecting and damaging to her and who she is. You cheat on me. It's over. It's over and done with, okay? There's nothing to talk about. What are we talking about? You cheat on me? Baby, I don't know you. I don't know you, okay? I don't know you. You thought you had me. You thought you were doing me in? You thought? Yeah. I wouldn't have dropped that gun. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Baby, he is taking her through there. He took her through there and back and through there again. Excuse me? Joyce. Blink twice if you need help. Okay? You shouldn't have bought the gun. You should have hired an assassin. Because this man don't care. He's delusional. The way Jonas was moving had me thinking he had amnesia. Especially on the night that they went back to the house. Because he realistically brought her back to the house to sign the divorce papers after their 20-year anniversary. Turns around and says, I miss you. And then, are you joking me? Baby, the dick can't be that good. Can't be that good. No. I still have a lot of episodes to go. Like I said, I only made it to like episode 10 or 11. I still got another half to go through. Okay? Another 10 or 11 episodes to go through. We're going to talk about this again. But if you have seen this, please comment down below so we can talk about this. Because my husband hasn't watched it. Nobody else has watched it. I need somebody else to talk about this. Because when I say I have so much in my mind that I want to share. Baby, what? He got me smoking cigarettes and I don't even smoke cigarettes. Like, he got me stressed out as if it's my marriage. Like, I've been in that bed depressed for Joyce. Like, girl, stand up. Stand up. Okay? Forget that man. But also, if you are new here, because I just realized, yeah, I didn't say hi to y'all. But y'all, friends, please comment back. Please comment back so we can talk about this in the comments. Because I got so much I want to share. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, girl.